Welcome to Grantigen Deep Dive, where we take your health questions, sift through the research to bring you the most relevant insights.
We're cutting through all the noise and hype you see online.
Exactly. And today we're diving into the fascinating world of Metformin with Sarah, our biotech expert.
Oh.
You've asked about Metformin's potential to extend life, which has sparked tons of discussion and debate. So let's unpack what the science actually says and see what we can learn together.
Sounds good.
To start, let's take a quick trip down memory lane. Metformin has been around for a while, right?
It really has. It was first synthesized back in 1922, and it's been a mainstay for type 2 diabetes treatment for over 60 years. Now, over 150 million people use it daily.
Wow, that's a lot of people.
Hmm.
Sounds like it's a pretty safe and effective drug then.
Yes, Metformin generally has a good safety profile. It's inexpensive, well-tolerated, and the side effects are usually mild, things like some gastrointestinal issues.
Okay, so it's safe, effective, and affordable. But here's where it gets really interesting. The benefits of Metformin seem to go way beyond just managing blood sugar.
That's right. There's a growing body of research suggesting that metformin might have a positive impact on what we call health span, meaning the period of life you spend in good health.
But what does the research actually show about Metformin's impact on specific aspects of health, like cardiovascular health, cognitive function, or even cancer?
Well, one study that really got people talking about metformin's potential beyond diabetes was the UK PDS study. This landmark research actually showed that metformin has significant cardiovascular benefits, reducing the risk of heart attacks and strokes in people with diabetes.
That's pretty impressive. But how does it actually work? I mean, doesn't it just help with blood sugar?
It does, but the UK PDS study actually revealed that metformin's cardiovascular benefits went beyond just blood sugar control, suggesting a direct protective effect on your blood vessels.
So Metformin could actually be strengthening your blood vessels, potentially slowing down the wear and tear that comes with age.
That's one of the theories. And this ties into another exciting area of research, metformin's potential cognitive benefits.
Oh, really? Tell me more about that.
Well, there's evidence suggesting that metformin might reduce cognitive decline and the risk of dementia.
Wait a minute, so this diabetes drug might help us stay sharp as we age? That's amazing.
It's promising, but we need more research to be sure. It seems like it might work by improving blood flow to the brain and potentially even promoting the growth of new brain cells.
Wow, that's fascinating. And what about cancer? I've heard some buzz about metformin and cancer as well.
You're right. Studies have shown an association between metformin use and a reduced incidence of some cancers, although the direct mechanisms are still being debated.
So it sounds like metformin could potentially contribute to healthier hearts, sharper minds, and maybe even a lower risk of cancer. Is this all too good to be true?
Well, it's important to remember that metformin is not a magic bullet for aging. The research is complex, and metformin's effects likely depend on a variety of factors like your age, health status, and even your individual genetics. But the key takeaway here is that metformin is showing real potential for improving your health span and quality of life as you age.
Okay, so we've established that metformin might help you live a longer, healthier life. But let's get to the heart of the question that everyone's really asking. Does metformin actually make you live longer?
That's the million-dollar question, and unfortunately, we don't have a definitive answer yet.
But what do we know from the research so far? I'm dying to know.
There are some intriguing clues from preclinical studies in animals. Some studies have shown that metformin can extend lifespan in certain animal models like worms and mice.
Worms living longer on metformin. That's wild.
It is. But here's where it gets complicated. Other animal studies haven't shown the same lifespan benefits. Some even suggest potential negative effects in older subjects.
Okay, so mixed results in animals. What about research in humans? Are there any studies looking at this directly?
There are ongoing clinical trials specifically investigating metformin's anti-aging effects in humans. Two of the biggest ones are the MILE study and the TAME trial, but we're still a few years away from getting conclusive results from these trials.
So we'll have to wait and see what these trials reveal. In the meantime, what should people make of all this metformin buzz? Should everyone be rushing to get a prescription?
That's where things get a bit tricky. While the research is definitely exciting, it's important to approach it with a healthy dose of caution.
Right, we don't want to get ahead of ourselves and overhype something that might not live up to the hype.
Exactly. And it's important to understand the limitations of the research so far. A lot of those animal studies that showed lifespan extension used incredibly high doses of metformin doses that wouldn't be safe or practical for humans.
So what we're seeing in those animal studies might not translate directly to benefits for us.
That's a key point to keep in mind. And we also need to remember the bigger picture. Aging is a complex process influenced by countless factors. No single pill is going to be a magic solution.
It's about making healthy choices across the board, not just relying on a single drug.
Absolutely. And while we wait for more definitive answers about metformin's impact on lifespan, there are plenty of things you can do today to support healthy aging, regardless of whether you're taking metformin or not.
That's a great point. What are some of the key things people should focus on?
The foundation of healthy aging always comes back to a healthy lifestyle.
Of course, things like diet and exercise.
Exactly.
And don't forget about regular physical activity.
Absolutely. Aim for a combination of cardiovascular exercise, strength training, and flexibility exercises. And don't underestimate the importance of stress management.
Stress management, that's always easier said than done. Any tips?
Mindfulness practices like meditation yoga or even just deep breathing can be incredibly helpful. And prioritize quality sleep.
So to recap, healthy diet, exercise, stress management, and sleep. These are all things we've heard before, but they're worth repeating because they really are the cornerstones of healthy aging.
They are. And they're not just good for your physical health. They're also crucial for maintaining cognitive function and mental well-being as you age.
It's all connected.
Exactly. And while we're on the topic of how things are connected, let's dive a bit deeper into how metformin works its magic. Because understanding its mechanisms of action can give us a better sense of its potential.
Okay, let's get into the nitty-gritty. What's going on at the cellular level?
Well, for a long time, we thought metformin primarily worked in the liver, helping to regulate blood sugar. But more recent research has revealed a much more multifaceted story.
Oh, I love it when science gets more complicated.
Me too. It turns out metformin works not only in the liver, but also in your gut, influencing things like GLP-1 levels and the gut microbiome.
So we're talking about that complex world of bacteria living in your gut, the microbiome, and how metformin might be shaping it in a way that benefits your health.
Precisely. And then there's metformin's impact on some key cellular pathways that are closely tied to aging. One of the most important is AMPK activation.
Let's take a closer look at this AMPK thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's a key player in how your cells manage energy. And it seems like metformin can give it a boost. Why is that a good thing?
AMPK stands for AMP-activated protein kinase. Think of it like your cell's internal maintenance crew. When activated AMPK triggers a cascade of events that help regulate energy balance, cellular repair, and even stress resistance.
So stronger signals mean a better maintained cellular system, which could contribute to a longer health span.
Exactly. Now, alongside AMPK activation, metformin also indirectly inhibits another pathway called mTOR.
Okay, another acronym. What's mTOR all about?
mTOR stands for the mammalian target of rapamycin. It's a protein that plays a central role in cell growth and proliferation. But here's the catch. Overactivation of mTOR has been linked to accelerated aging and various age-related diseases.
So too much cell growth isn't always a good thing.
Not necessarily. While cell growth is essential for development and repair, uncontrolled growth can lead to problems like cancer and cellular senescence, which is essentially cellular aging.
Okay, so by inhibiting mTOR, metformin might be putting the brakes on some of those processes that accelerate aging.
Precisely. Now, the story gets even more intricate when we consider metformin's impact on mitochondria.
Mitochondria, they're essential for cellular energy production, right? And their function declines as we age.
You got it. Metformin's effect on mitochondria is complex and still being studied. But it appears to influence quality control through a process called mitophagy. It's the selective removal of damaged mitochondria, making way for healthy new ones. And finally, we can't forget about sirtuin-1 activation.
Okay, hit me with it. What are sirtuins and why should we care?
Sirtuins are a family of proteins that have been dubbed longevity genes because they're involved in a variety of cellular processes that promote healthy aging, like DNA repair and stress resistance. And metformin appears to activate one particular sirtuin, sirtuin-1, which could contribute to its overall health span benefits.
Now, before we wrap up, I want to circle back to something you mentioned earlier about individual variability. How much does our personal biology play a role in how we respond to metformin?
That's a great question, and it's an area of active research. There's a growing evidence that your individual genetics can influence how your body processes metformin, how well you absorb it, and even how your cells respond to it.
So what works for one person might not work the same way for another?
Precisely. And that's where the concept of personalized medicine comes in. In the future, we might be able to tailor metformin treatment based on an individual's genetic makeup to optimize its benefits and minimize potential side effects.
That's really cool. It's like personalized anti-aging medicine.
It's an exciting possibility,
Yeah.
and it highlights the need for more research in this area. Understanding the interplay between metformin, individual genetics, and the aging process could revolutionize how we approach healthy aging in the future.
I know you said we don't have all the answers yet about metformin's impact on lifespan, but I'm curious to get your take on something. Based on what we know so far, do you think it's reasonable to be optimistic about metformin's potential to help us live longer, healthier lives?
Well, I'm always hesitant to make grand pronouncements about any single intervention, especially when it comes to something as complex as aging.
Fair enough. Science is all about nuance.
But I will say this. The research on metformin is incredibly promising. Its multiple mechanisms of action, its impact on key cellular pathways involved in aging, and its consistent association with improved health span all point toward a potential role in extending lifespan.
So it's not just hype?
No, I wouldn't say so. The evidence is compelling, and I'm excited to see what future research reveals.
Me too. Now, before we go too far down the rabbit hole of future possibilities, I want to make sure we leave our listeners with some practical takeaways. What should people be doing today to support healthy aging, regardless of the metformin debate?
That's a crucial point. The foundation of healthy aging will always be a healthy lifestyle.
You're preaching to the choir here. What are the key things people should focus on?
Well, first and foremost, a balanced, nutrient-rich diet is essential.
Right, we're talking lots of fruits, vegetables, whole grains, lean protein, healthy fats.
Exactly. And regular physical activity is equally important.
Get those bodies moving.
Yes, aim for a combination of cardiovascular exercise, strength training, and flexibility exercises. And don't forget about stress management.
Ah, the elusive stress management. Any tips for that?
Mindfulness practices like meditation yoga or deep breathing can be incredibly helpful. And prioritize quality sleep.
Okay, so healthy diet, exercise, stress management, sleep. These are all things we've heard before, but they're worth repeating because they truly are the cornerstones of healthy aging.
They are. And they're not just good for our physical health. They're also crucial for maintaining cognitive function and mental well-being as we age.
It's all connected.
Exactly. And while we wait for more definitive answers about metformin and lifespan, focusing on these lifestyle factors is the best thing we can do to increase our chances of living longer, healthier, and more fulfilling lives.
And who knows? Maybe by the time those clinical trials wrap up, we'll have even more exciting news about metformin's anti-aging potential.
I'm certainly hopeful. It's a fascinating field of research, and I'm eager to see what the future holds. But for now, let's all keep prioritizing those healthy habits that we know make a difference.
Host speaker. It really makes you think, doesn't it? What do we ultimately hope to gain from extending our lifespans?
It's a question that goes beyond the science and touches on our values and aspirations.
If metformin or other interventions could give us more time, what would we do with those extra years? How would we make them meaningful?
Would you travel more, spend more time with loved ones, finally pursue those passions you've put on hold? Or would you focus on giving back to your community or leaving a lasting legacy?
It's fascinating to consider the possibilities, and it highlights the importance of not just focusing on the length of our lives, but also on the quality and purpose of those years.
Exactly. It's not just about adding years to your life, but about adding life to your years.
I love that, and I think that's a perfect note to end on. We've covered a lot of ground today, from the history of metformin to its potential benefits and its impact on different aspects of aging.
We've explored its mechanisms of action, the ongoing research, and the importance of a healthy lifestyle.
And we've delved into the bigger questions about what it means to live a longer, healthier, and more fulfilling life.
It's been a truly insightful deep dive.
And to all of you listening, thank you for diving in with us.